What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we're going to be telling you guys how to use your resin and fragile resin and at what levels, what you should be doing. A lot of people have asked, hey, should I be doing this right now? Should I be doing this right now? What should I be doing right now? So I'm going to go ahead and break this down for you guys so you guys know what you need to know. Starting out, if you are a newer player, and what I mean by newer, like levels 1 through like 20. I think you get a mission at like 21, so it's like more like levels 1 through 18 or whatever. But those in between there, those levels is all going to be doing story missions, doing world missions, doing side missions, running around the world, finding all the secrets and getting all the waypoints, all the statues of the 7. That's going to be what you're doing through those levels. You should not be using fragile resin at those levels, right? Because there's so much XP in the world that you don't need to use your fragile resin. And if you are wasting your fragile resin for doing that. Like at that point in the game, you literally do not need to refresh stamina, right? As far as, fragile resin. Well, I mean, refresh in general. But anyways, so levels 1 through about 20, you guys should be just doing story, side missions, running around getting all the stuff you need as far as all of that. That's going to be what you're doing there. Now, once you get to level 20, from levels about 20 to 30, it's going to be you starting to create your team. You should start forming your team from levels 20 to 30. And what I mean by forming your team is if we look at my characters, right? Levels 1 through 20, you should be only using like one character and then having like a secondary character that you really like as well. So you should generally be using like 2 characters, levels 1 through 20. Anybody after that is just it's just a feel, right? Like that just doesn't matter. Now, once you get to level 20 to 30, you should be looking at your units, saying who do I want to use, who do I like, and then you need to be forming your team. Now, what I mean by that is whether it's farming mats, whether it's doing whatever you got to do as far as farming mats, weapon mats, blah 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 blah, getting weapons if you need to craft them, all of that stuff. Right? Levels 1 through 20, it doesn't matter, right? You just throw people on the team, go do what you got to do, whatever. Once you get to level 20, from 20 to 30, a lot of your resin needs to be spent or start being spent. You ain't got to use all of it because you'll have quite a bit. You don't got to like just go and speed run through your resin. But that's when you're going to start getting mats for your characters, right? If you want to use Zhang Ling and you need to ascend her, you can start getting some of the stuff that you need. You want to start looking at what characters you are going to be playing going forward. Now, obviously, this all depends on who you have and who you like in the game. Not to mention, if you pull a new character that you like more, then you can switch them out or whatever later on. But as far as level 20 plus, level 20s to 30, you want to look at your units and be like, hey, who do I want to use? Just 4 solid units, and then those 4 solid units, you want to start building them up. Now, you should max out 2 units, right? Max out 2 units, but the other 2 units can be a little behind. And what I mean by that is, if you max a unit to 50, you want to have, if you max 2 units to 50, the other units can be like level 20. If you max 2 units to 60, the other units can be like level 40. So you want to have them like staggered a little bit off, because you don't really want to max them, but if those are going to be your main team, you're going to eventually get them up, right? Now, once you hit around level 30, once you get to level 30, from 30 to 40 is going to be you solidifying your team. And what I mean by that is, from level 20 to 30 is just you, ascending your character probably to like level 50, level 60. That's going to be you finally picking what weapon or weapons that you want for your characters. Now, once you get to level 30, that's whenever you're going to start maxing out the character. And what I mean by maxing out the character, I mean, this is whenever you're going to probably take them to levels 60, level 70, you're going to start looking at talents. You're going to start maxing out talents. Because whenever you're AR30, by AR30, you generally should have an idea of what your 4-man team is going to be. You should have an idea. And based off of that, you want to start maxing talents and things like that. That's what's going to be, once you get to 30. From 30 to 40 is just you solidifying your team, right? Now, keep in mind, from 30 to 40, well, not even 30 to 40, all throughout this, which is generally going to be 30 to 40, you want to make sure you are farming your ascension materials for the next world rank up. And what I mean by that is, if you're level 30, say you hit level 30, from level 30 to 35, you want to be getting your ascension materials for your characters, right? Like if we look right here, I'm all out, but that's just because I can't do it till level 50, right? But from, whether it's 20, generally it's going to start around 20, 25 is when you're going to start farming character ascension materials, but you're not going to be running through your stamina like that because there's still going to be story missions and things of that nature. But around level 30, because AR29 is the last story mission, 30, you're not going to have any more story missions. You will have side missions at 32, 34, 36, but from 30 onward, almost all of your resin is going to go into ascension material, meaning what you need to ascend your character. Well, they give this to for free, but yeah, you're going to be looking at what you need to ascend your characters, which are going to be these two. So whatever bosses you need, this is now what your fragile resin is going to go into. Now again, I'm not saying that you have to use 15 fragile resin in one day and try to speed run it. I'm just saying that's what you are going to be focusing on now. Okay, now once you hit AR40, congratulations, you made it. From AR40 onwards, you are now going to be focusing on artifacts. Now, as far as character ascension, this self-explanatory. Electro hypostasis, a Nemo hypostasis, blah blah blah, whatever you need. So as far as starting out, so just going over it, obviously 1 through 20, you're just working on story mode, whatever. You can throw anything on your character. You don't really need to max anything out. That's whatever. From 20 to 30, that's whenever you are going to start building your 4-man team. You're going to be starting to get your weapons. You're going to start thinking about what gear you want. If you have good gear, you can put it on, blah, blah, blah. Now, from 30 to 40, that is going to be where you start maxing out weapons, maxing out artifacts, switching out artifacts, maxing out characters, making sure you have all their ascension materials, everything like that, blah, 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 blah. That is what you are going to be doing from 30 to 40. Now, once you get to 40 and you have your characters maxed and you have your characters' weapons maxed and everything like that, then you start farming artifacts, right? Now, if we look at you guys have seen my Beto in action. Her set is pretty nice. Obviously, I can get 5 stars. Obviously, I can go, further. But that's whatever. If we look at Venti, I farmed this the other day in about an hour, hour and a half, give or take. I have 4 5-star pieces that are all Viridescent set, which is pretty much Venti's late game artifact, if you guys didn't know. And they're all really good stats too, right? So if you look at all the stats are really good. Energy recharge, elemental mastery, crit rate, really, really nice. Energy recharge, crit damage, all of this is just super good for him. Crit rate, attack. This one's a placeholder, but I already have the 4 set. So now you are going to be farming artifacts, and you have artifacts that you can farm. Here's the Viridescent set. You have the fire set here, or not here, over here. This right here is the fire set. You got the electro set right here. And if you don't need to farm those, you could always farm the bosses and try to get gladiator pieces. But yeah, so now once you reach AR40, you're going to start farming artifacts, and then that's pretty much as far as you need to be. So yeah, just to recap again for anyone that needs to know. Levels 1 through 20 is story missions. Story missions, side missions, running around, get statues of the 7, get the waypoints, all of that stuff, all that beginner stuff. Once you get to AR 20, from 20 to 30, that's when you're going to start developing your team, right? Putting people, putting units on a team, thinking about what artifacts you're going to be putting on characters, putting artifact stuff on the characters, looking at the weapons, looking at this, looking at that, etc. At level 30, from 30 to 40, you're going to solidify your team, whether it's maxing out artifacts, maxing out talents, maxing out characters in general, getting all the ascension materials, putting them into your characters, getting your characters level 60, 70, 80, etc. Boom. Now, once you hit level 80, now you are going to be farming your late game artifacts for your characters. So that's pretty much what you need to be doing with your resin. A lot of people have been asking me this, so I decided to go ahead and make a video on it. That's going to be it for this video. Be sure to give a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.